invisible is not all fun, games, and peeking inside locker rooms. You suffer, and you hate it. You live in two worlds, overlaid and crashing down on each other, and you hate every heartbeat of it, because you never fully master being in any of them. It's scary how the time goes by differently for everyone. It's scary that you can't interact with anything or anyone in the concrete world. It's scary that, if you want to go back, you're at the mercy of Hecate, a being whose main concern is his realm, not its inhabitants, and the dodo, a beast that inspires as much awe as fear. But by that time, I still didn't know the scariest part of it all. After falling for nearly forever in tunnels of light, and inscrutable shapes and colors, I was back. I wasn't holding my katana or covered in thorns anymore. My body was more solid than I was before fighting against the dodo, but I was still invisible to others and incapable of holding things. My hands were just passing through doors instead of opening them, but my body couldn't cross to the other side. In a word, I was useless. Hecate didn't tell me how to go back to normal. That's for you to find out, he said. Hecate knows everything. Ada told me. I trusted them. They never lied to me, and they know more than I ever would. So that meant that I had the ability to figure this out on my own. Figuratively or not, the answer once again was inside me. I estimated that I was 40% visible, at least to myself, so it meant that I was still 60% blind. I could see the world, the normal world, your world, around me, but things were blurry and full of weird shadows. I needed to recover quickly, but I knew nothing about being invisible. Unless, do the same rules apply to both worlds? Here goes nothing, I told myself, as I bull rushed against one passerby. I don't even know if they were man or woman, young or old. I couldn't see enough with my hazy eyes, and as sure as Hecate is not human, it worked. I crossed the person's body and noticed that my vision improved. Not significantly enough that I could see clearly, but I knew I wasn't crazy. Especially because my victim put both their hands to the chest and collapsed on the floor, grumbling. When people started to gather around them, I considered fleeing at first, but then I remembered I was invisible and nothing could touch me. So I crossed 9 more bodies, and my vision got so much better. I could see their faces, although still blurry. They were in pain, but I didn't feel like they were going to die. It was more like a flash mob of heart attack. I would be lying if I said I didn't mean to kill. But I didn't mean to kill that many people at first. I don't deserve your sympathy. I've done bad things. I entered a locker room, after all. The men were talking about such vile, unspeakable things. I had to murder them all. If you pass across someone once, you steal part of their life force, and they will be ill, but not dead. Twice, you kill them. If you pass across them thrice or more, it makes no difference in your strength. They're dead anyway, but their body will grow more torn and mangled. After that, I was unstoppable. I visited my former job and killed all my co-workers and the customers there. I hunted down every person who mistreated me or spat in my face, passing across 5 or 6 innocent people's bodies on my way. To this day, the police are still baffled at the carnage that took place in the fast food restaurant and have no leads as to what happened. People were literally minced alive. Still no weapon matched the wounds. The building had to be demolished because it was impossible to clean all the blood and viscera from the walls and windows, and no one wants to buy it now. A lot of people in town think it was the work of the supernatural, a demon. They are not so far from the truth. After killing the last of my perpetrators, my vision was almost back to normal. It was time to go home. I considered killing my brother and sister, but soon I realized that I didn't want my old life back, with or without them. I wanted to start anew, so I merged in my sister's body and locked her consciousness in a dark place of our brain. Simple like that, I became her and stole her life. She had no means to resist. She has no will, no personality, no individuality. She is pretty much empty inside. As I type this now, it's her fingers I'm using. Darla doesn't exist anymore. Darla's cute face is there, but being controlled by someone who knows better, by someone who can use this body to have a great life, by Abby, her ugly, broken and still full of dreams older sister. Both Mum and Sydney noticed the sudden changes on Darla. Instead of being an airhead that spent 20 hours a day giggling with her dumb friends about boys, Darla was smart, focused and clever. I caught Mum staring at me a lot in the first few days. You remind me of someone. I just can't remember who. Mum seemed to have vague memories of me, but she couldn't even place it. She didn't know she had an older daughter whose existence faded away forever. My life was good. I don't regret stealing Darla's body. Judging by how the texted men, my sister would end up as a good-for-nothing teenage mother anyway. I knew how to succeed, using her good looks and my brains and experience. But weeks later I started to glitch. It happened while I was walking home from school. I looked at my hand and realized I was alternating between visible and invisible. My form was unstable. Starting to panic, I did my best to take deep breaths, but it was physically impossible. The air was suddenly different, heavier and damper. I felt a presence, then instinctively looked towards the sky. I saw a huge black caterpillar looming over the tallest buildings. It was just for a second, then it was gone. But I know I'm not hallucinating. I wish I was. I know for sure, but it has happened many times after that. Once I saw a pack of unmistakable Pyrenean ibex, an extinct species of wild goat with splendid horns. Another time I saw a flying snake so ridiculously large it was hunting down a prey, and the prey was a whale. I saw the woolly mammoth, its bestial eyes full of hatred. I knew it saw me too. The only way to keep these monsters away and stop glitching is killing. I have to pass across people when my form is unstable, so I can have peace for a few days. At first, I had around 10 days of stability, but the intervals are growing shorter, and the city is suspicious of all the unexplainable deaths. There were people that I enjoyed killing, but now I'm so tired. I don't have the time to pick my victim and make sure they are bad. I always have to be quick. I just want to be a normal, carefree teenage girl. I was unable to enjoy my youth in my previous life. I went through so much, and things are still awful and complicated. I'm always anxious because I'm a murderer, and people have been reporting to see weird shadows. I'm afraid I'm not the only one who can see the monsters from the Forgotten Realm. No matter how much I trust Ada and Hecate, I'm afraid that portal wasn't completely closed, and I don't know for how long simply stabilizing myself will keep the monsters from entering the concrete world. This is your warning. Stop wishing you were invisible, and run for your life if you see a creature that shouldn't exist. My little bunyips, that is all from Mr. Villain today. Liking the video and subscribing to the channel helps tell YouTube that you're liking my content and want to see more of it. Clicking the notification bell will keep you up to date with my videos and notify you whenever I upload. You can also dislike the video if you want, but doing that might be hazardous to your health.